Good evening and welcome to California Today. I'm Ling Zhang. Let's take a look at today's stories. A reporter revealed that state leaders received millions of dollars in donations and gifts from big corporations. Critics are calling out a billionaire after he said that nobody cares about the human rights issue in China. He said that there are more problems in the U.S. According to one payment report, the governor and other politicians received millions of dollars worth of donations and gifts from giant tech and health companies.
The California Fair Political Practices Commission released its annual payment transparency report on January 13th, listing all the solicited payments California officials received. State elected officials behested more than $237 million in 2020, with Governor Gavin Newsom receiving the vast majority of it. Newsom solicited a total of nearly $227 million in donations in 2020 from Facebook, Google, Blue Shield, and others. That's a tenfold increase from 2019 when he behested about $12 million. This huge increase in both the use and amount of behests is why we are implementing new regulations to increase transparency, said FPPC Chair Richard Miedich. Behested payments are contributions to elected officials that are to be given to other organizations. These payments are less regulated than campaign contributions and are not limited in size. The transactions must be reported under the Political Reform Act. The FPPC report says the funds were used to support California's COVID-19 response and awareness campaign, purchasing gift cards for healthcare workers, Project Home Key for the homeless, among others. 2020's top behesting officials also include Secretary of State Shirley Weber, Assemblymember Cristina Garcia, Superintendent Tony Thurmond, and Assemblymember Anthony Rendon.
A billionaire and partial owner of one of the NBA's top teams is facing backlash over his comments on human rights issue in China. He said that nobody cares about the Chinese Communist Party's suppression of Uyghurs.
In a January 15th podcast with the All In podcast, one of the co-hosts and CEO of Social Capital said that nobody cares about the Uyghurs in concentration camps in China's western Xinjiang region.
Nobody cares about what's happening to the Uyghurs, okay? You bring it up because you really care, and I think that's nice that you care. The rest of us don't care.
Polly Hapatia was responding to another co-host who brought up Washington's recent ban on all products imported from Xinjiang's forced labor camps. He adds that the issue is below his line and there are more domestic issues to focus on.
Not until we can take care of ourselves will I prioritize them over us.
Polly Hapatia owns 10% of the Golden State Warriors. The team's management responded saying that Polly Hapatia is a limited investor and his views do not reflect those of the organization. The podcast co-host countered by saying that human rights is a global concept and its open discussion is allowed in the U.S., but not in certain other countries. A number of critics respond, including Enes Kanter Freedom, one of the few NBA players to be vocal on China's human rights. He calls it a shame. Freedom previously talked on BBC about encouraging his colleagues about choosing morals over money.
So it is important that athletes use a platform to be the voice of all those innocent people out there who don't have a voice.
Florida Senator Rick Scott said Communist China is imprisoning innocent people simply due to their Muslim faith, and silence is appeasement. He asked several Warriors players to condemn it. The United States and other Western nations have characterized Beijing's repressive policy in Xinjiang as a genocide. Polly Hapatia also said that after reviewing the podcast, he realized he came across as lacking empathy. He said his family previously fled a country with its own human rights issues. David Lam, NTD News, California.
The Department of Education reached a settlement in regards to a lawsuit involving Aztec prayers. These prayers were taught and being recited by students in the state's ethnic studies model curriculum and caught attention of parents and reporters last year. NTD's Jason Blair has the update.
After reaching a settlement last week, California has agreed that it will no longer include 2 Aztec chants in its ethnic studies model curriculum. The California Department of Education was sued by 3 San Diego parents and the Californians for Equal Rights Foundation. They argued that including recitation of the chants in the curriculum was unconstitutional. Paul Jonah, partner at Limandri and Jonah LLP and Thomas Moore Society Special Counsel, stated that the chants are directing students to pray to Aztec gods. Jonah added that these are the same deities that were worshipped with human sacrifices. The Department of Education's lesson resources say the chants can be used as energizers to bring the class together and to lift students' spirits. As part of the settlement, the CDE is required not to encourage the use of the deleted affirmations in California's public schools, as well as pay $100,000 towards the plaintiff's legal fees. The CDE did not respond for comment before the broadcast deadline. Jason Blair, NTD News, California.
On Tuesday, the mayor of Los Angeles nominated a new chief for the city's fire department, or LAFD. The mayor nominated Latina Kristen Crowley, who will be the first woman to hold the position in the city.
On Tuesday, LA Mayor Garcetti and City Council President announced their nominee for the new fire chief.
Today I am nominating Kristen Crowley, who is currently serving as acting chief deputy and fire marshal. And if confirmed by the City Council, Chief Deputy Crowley will be the 19th person to serve as the chief of this fire department and the first woman to ever be in that position.
Mayor Garcetti called Crowley an extraordinary firefighter, human being, and protector of the city. He said the department has seen an increase in the number of women since 2014. A female city council member also praised Kristen's achievements as a leader.
And today, the picture changes. Today, so many young women across the city who never imagined they could one day serve as a chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department.
Crowley accepted the nomination, and she will become the first female fire chief if the city council confirms her.
I will be fully committed to leading and inspiring our tremendous department into an exciting future that is filled with new opportunities to grow, to innovate, and to empower.
Current LAFD's fire chief Ralph Terrazas will end his 35-year career to plan his retirement. He was the 18th fire chief and first of Latino descent.
The Biden administration plans to expand efforts to combat wildfires that have torched the West Coast. The administration calls for cutting and thinning down forests around hotspots.
Administration officials said they crafted a $50 billion plan to increase the use of controlled fires and logging. This would reduce trees and vegetation that serve as tinder. The work is to begin this year in areas that have been blazed, such as California's Sierra Nevada mountains, the east side of Colorado's Rocky Mountains, and portions of Arizona, Oregon, and Washington state. The plan is envisioned to cover almost 80,000 square miles, almost as large as Idaho. Reaching that goal would require an estimated $20 billion over 10 years for work on national forests and $30 billion for work on other lands. The recently passed federal infrastructure bill put a down payment of $3.2 billion over 5 years into the plan.
Yosemite National Park is planning to test a lottery system for reservations in one of its popular campgrounds. The park announced it's piloting a lottery system for North Pines campground reservations. Their goal is to reduce confusion for the highly competitive reservation process and create a better experience. Available dates for reservation are from July 21st through September 14th this year. To apply, visitors will pay a non-refundable $10 lottery fee to join the drawing. If a visitor is selected, he or she will then have to pay a $36 reservation fee per night. The lottery application period is January 18th through February 6th. Results will be announced on February 10th. Here's a big announcement from today. Microsoft said it will be paying nearly $70 billion in cash to buy Activision Blizzard. That's one of the biggest acquisitions in tech sector. It is the video game studio behind blockbuster hits like Warcraft, Overwatch, and Call of Duty. This acquisition will make Microsoft the third largest gaming company by revenue. Regulators and Activision Blizzard shareholders will first need to approve the deal, which is set to close in 2023. And until then, both companies will operate independently. Activision Blizzard's stock is up 26% today.
I don't think that the share price is particularly good or bad for anybody. It's a fair price. I mean, Microsoft's paying about $10 lower than the all-time high. Tech has melted down. So Activision investors are getting back most of what they lost. And I just don't see another bidder. So the price seems fair.
Now to NTD's Thomas Christian for the sports update.
I'm Thomas Christian, giving you the California Today Sports Roundup.
Timo Meyer scored a franchise record 5 goals to lead the San Jose Sharks to a 6-2 win against the visiting Los Angeles Kings on Monday afternoon. Meyer scored 3 goals in the first period and then added 2 more in the second to break the previous record of 4 goals shared by Owen Nolan, Thomas Hertl, Patrick Marleau, and Evander Kane. Hertl had 4 assists, Erik Karlsson added 3 assists, and Rudolf Balcers provided a goal, and James Reimer made 39 saves for San Jose. The Sharks scored a total of 1 goal in their previous 2 games, both losses. Anze Kopitar and Mikey Anderson scored, and Jonathan Quick made 11 saves for the Kings, who had won 4 in a row and 6 of 7. Sharks 6, Kings 2. LeBron James scored 25 points and Stanley Johnson added a season-high 15 as host Los Angeles rallied to knock off Utah and end a 3-game losing streak. Russell Westbrook also had 15 points and Malik Monk added 14 for the Lakers, who won for the first time since January 7th, despite facing a 10-point deficit late in the third quarter. James contributed 7 rebounds and 7 assists as well. Utah's Rudy Gobert scored 19 points and grabbed 16 boards in his second game back from a 5-game COVID-19 absence. Mike Conley also added 20 points. The Jazz fell for the 5th time in their past 6 games. Lakers 101, Jazz 95. Nicholas Batum scored a season-high 32 points to help Los Angeles hold off visiting Indiana. Batum made 7 of 10 from 3-point range to lead the Clippers, who hit 18 of 36 from beyond the arc. Marcus Morris Sr. scored 21 points and grabbed the team-high 8 rebounds, and Reggie Jackson added 26 points with 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Karis LeVert led the Pacers with 26 points, and Chris Duarte scored 24 off the bench. Goja Bitadze added 17 points on 7 of 9 shooting off the bench. Clippers 139, Pacers 133. Matthew Stafford got his first playoff win in his 13-year career, and the Los Angeles Rams are headed to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers next Sunday. Los Angeles was up 28-0 at one point in the third quarter, and the Cardinals never made this one a game. Arizona had started the season off strong, a 7-0 record with Kyler Murray at the helm of an offensive juggernaut, but they lost 5 of their last 7 games to end the regular season. Matthew Stafford was 13 of 17 on passing attempts for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns to no interceptions. He ended with a QB rating of 154.5 out of a perfect 158.3. Cam Akers and Sony Michel led the run game, where each ran efficiently for over 50 yards. The Rams enter as the underdog against Tom Brady's Buccaneers. Tampa Bay has had to deal with a lot of in-season turmoil of their own, losing star wide receiver Antonio Brown in a mid-season meltdown. If the Rams pull off an upset against the Bucs and the 49ers upset the Green Bay Packers this Saturday, we would be looking at a SoCal versus NorCal NFC Championship game. Winner goes to the Super Bowl.
As always, I'm Thomas Christian, and thanks for tuning in.
And that's all for tonight. You can join us again on California Today every weekday at 8 p.m. If you have any news tips or ideas for our show, feel free to let us know. You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Ling Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.